Hello, it's Crypto Trader Vader here with another trading journal. If it's your first time tuning in with the trading journals, basically I'll go through a list of about 35 coins and do some live technical analysis. It's been pretty crazy at the moment with we've been having a nice downturn in the market in pretty much all the alts and in Bitcoin itself. Let's have a quick look here and have a look at Bitcoin before we get into the journal. Bitcoin. So here we go. We've got a one-day view, and we've had this huge run-up with Bitcoin. We've had very similar with alts as well, and what we're seeing now is some consolidation, and it's getting to a nice, healthy level now. Obviously, the trend is still very much up. We're not seeing any crossover of these two just yet. So if Bitcoin starts to climb significantly lower, it might be turning a bit bearish, of course. For the people that have been in this for a little while, we understand that these bubbles come and go. Before I actually get into ADA, which is the first coin, by the way, before I actually get into the video, on the left hand side here you can see these all the names of the coins. So at the start of every coin I'll mark it green, so that if you want to just skip to your favorite coin on Poloniex, then just forward through the video, scrub through it and find the coin that's relevant to you. But I just wanted to do a quick update on 1Broker because I think here just last month, 29th of December, I did a video on 1Broker where I showed that I'm testing this platform out where you can copy traders and they grow your bitcoins for you. And I like it because it's not one of those BitConnect, Chain.group pyramid schemes. It seems legitimate, and it had 0.0714 I had it at the time, and I wanted to show you guys that it's grown. So you can see here, I don't know if you can make that out, but now the 0.07 has turned into 0.1. So there's 0.03 Bitcoin growth through other traders just doing trading through Forex and gold and a variety of other things. So worthwhile checking that one out. Alrighty, let's jump into the coins. I'll just make sure that my stream is working here. I think it is. If you can hear me fine, just chuck something or other in the chat window. That'd be helpful. Can't really see myself here, so I'm not sure if this is coming through at all. Just have a quick look here. It does seem to be working. Okay, cool. Alright, let's get into it. So ADA, first of all, I'll make this, move myself here to the, oh shoot, not that one. That's the wrong one. Sorry guys, I'm just throwing myself up on the screen for the time being. Let's get rid of that. Let's make this one fit to screen. And this one here, make that nice and small so I'm not obscuring everything, and so you don't have to look at my mug the whole time. Let's get this one just down there. Okay, cool. I think we're okay now. So let's get into it. ADA, BTC. So ADA, last time, what did I say about ADA? If it's greater than 15k sats, it might go on a bull run, and that was just based off this resistance line right here, which it definitely did not do, and has subsequently fallen down to around 11k. Like a lot of alts, I think a lot of these consolidations are probably helpful. I think we're going to see a very similar pattern with a lot of altcoins. Big corrections over the last week or two, which is either going to set them up for another upward trend, or could turn it into a bull trend, bear trend rather. So it's going to be interesting either way to watch and see how it goes. With ADA, really not sure. I'm not particularly sure on what the fundamentals of this coin are. So let's just mark that as a watch for next week, and we'll pick it up and see what the deal is then. Let's move on to that'll work better. Alright, Bitcoin Cash here. So of course we all remember the giant spike up for Bitcoin Cash, where it went up to half of a Bitcoin value back in November, which was a crazy day. And of course has come crashing back down, had this nice 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, had a really big run up again, and now consolidating back down. It seems pretty strong against Bitcoin. I did say back in January 4th that it was probably going bearish, and that was right here. So it's had a run up since then, and it's pretty much around about where I said, around about the same place basically as it was 2 weeks ago. So let's watch that, but let's put in here probably sideways. It'll likely continue that way, I think. Black coin, I've marked out a couple of points of resistance and support, and here's probably a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's a bit skewed, that one, but it's definitely gone for a nice run up and caught a lot of support around this line. So as it bears down now, if it does dip beneath this 5,500 sats level, we're probably looking at a bearish black coin. Let's put a less than 5,500 sats equals bear move. It's already looking pretty bearish. It's hit this top formation, but it could very well bounce off of this purple support line and continue in an upwards direction. Yeah, not really sure, but certainly if it breaks through that line, you want to be watching your back if you're holding some black coin. BTS, BitShares. So again, a very similar situation, of course. I had this big consolidation back down, this crash back down, if you will. This previous resistance bar, it's just broken straight through that. So I'm not bullish on BitShares for the time being. We'll have to wait until that forms a nice bottom formation. And you know, on that point, this is going to be a really good opportunity now, as a lot of these alts come crashing back down to earth after a huge bull run. We have another opportunity now to catch these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations as they occur, and like we did, you know, back when I first started doing this in I think late October, early November, we'll be able to catch these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations again, and hopefully make some successful trades. Bearish. Let's just find a point where this might possibly end, and that looks to be this strong line of resistance around here, about 2k sats. So that's not looking good for BitShares. Oh hey, yeah, just caught the chats, guys. Thanks for chucking a chat in there. Good to have cash on the ready. Yeah, very true, Rock. It's definitely a good time to have liquid Bitcoin, if you will. It's lots of opportunities, and you really want to be maximizing on those opportunities by finding the bottoms. And you can either find those bottoms by looking for these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations, or you can be you know, buying up portions, smaller portions of it, kind of breaking up your buys. Instead of buying one big chunk at what you think is the bottom, you can kind of split your buys up and you know, maybe 10% here, 10% if it goes lower, 10% if it goes lower. And of course, at any point there where it does start to turn around and you see a bowl formation or a 1, 2, 3 bottom forming, it's a good opportunity then to dump a bit more on it. But you can kind of slowly get into a position in this downward trending market. especially for coins that you feel are fundamentally good buys long term. Clam coin now. So clam coin, for anyone that's watched these journals before, it's got a special place in my heart because I love storing my coins on Just Dice, where we can earn a decent percentage on your clam coins. And so I store some coins on there, and they just keep growing and growing, which is a great investment if you want to grow your cryptos. In regards to, I'm just removing some of these old lines here. This purple one's a nice resistance line on about 8,500, and I did sell some clam coins around this, I think this 0.07 mark, 0.069, 0.07, so around this mark, so it's very much above where I sold at, which probably was a bad move on my part. I did not empty my whole position, of course. It's way too lucrative in Just Dice, but it does look to be turning around. We see this EMA crossing over, which is a positive thing, and of course, if we look at the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, we could probably call this one. It's pretty skewed though. I don't know. I don't like the look of it. I probably think that clam coin is likely to consolidate down and before it heads up further. If this is the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, it's pretty skewed, and it's not very, usually 1, 2, 3 bottom is a little slower forming, rather than this. We're in the 1-day view, so maybe that's it. Let's have a look in the 4-hour. Well, that's looking a little bit better now, isn't it? Yeah, so if we can count that as a 1, 2, 3, really what we're looking for is either a breakout above this 85 to turn clam into a bullish trend, or possibly a break through this resistance band here at 70. I'm holding some liquid Bitcoin to buy back into clams as it does dip lower, so I am hoping it kind of gets down to these levels again. Maybe 0.5, 50k sats. I'm not sure what to write down on this one. I just don't see that a lot of altcoins will be, quickly turning into bulls. I think the short-term momentum for altcoins is probably in a slightly downward direction. Of course, there will be exceptions, but generally speaking, let's say bearish if less than 72k, because if it does break through that support line here, this middle purple line, it's probably going to head on down a little bit lower, which is a good opportunity for me to buy some more up. Let's move on to Civic coin. One, two, three bottom formation in Civic, and broke through this resistance band. That was pretty much the last time I seriously looked at Civic. I put a watch on it, and it's just really held steady. And one thing I really like about this is, if we pull up one of these trend lines, okay, you can see these bottoms. Every time the price consolidates, it's higher than the previous time. There's another one there. There's another one there. Higher, higher, higher. This is the first one that's a little bit lower. Breaking trend a little bit, so it could be heading downwards, but very strong trend. The other thing that some other people are probably screaming at their screen right now is there's also a triangle formation happening with the tops getting lower and lower. That's good. So we're basically looking at Civic right now as it breaks out of this very long triangle trend. And because it's breaking lower, the probability sits with this turning into a bearish move. So let's call Civic bearish with no conditions attached, and we'll see how that turns out next week when I go revisit these. Dash less than 0.017 equals bear run, but more likely to bounce off 0.072. and that was the 4th of Jan. That was right here. And look at this, it broke straight through, crashed back down to the floor, and kind of crept back up. So I was dead wrong on that one. I said here if it's less than 0.071 it's going to turn bearish, and what it's pretty much done instead is gone sideways. Although I will say in my defense it does appear to be lower and therefore bearish from where I said it was. The other thing about Dash that I really like to look at is I like to look at the Dash XMR market on Poloniex. This is one of my favorite markets. This shows how many Monero coin it takes to buy a Dash coin. So it's a different sort of market, but I like to dabble in this because it seems to travel sideways very easily. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And right now it's breaking this incredible resistance point, this support line rather, that it's had for a long time. And what I've been predicting for a while is that Monero will likely overtake Dashcoin in market cap, and I honestly thought that it would take a little longer. I didn't think it would happen straight away, but it does look like it could very well happen. If this trend continues and the price in Dash goes down, we could have, you know, hitting anywhere to 1.5 on the price of to Monero. Yeah, quite interesting to watch what Dash is doing. Let's go back to Dash Bitcoin though and talk about this. Monero has been having a great bull run. We'll get to that in a minute. But you can see here with this these higher lows. So every time there's a consolidation, it's been higher, and of course it's broken through that trend in this particular crash. But it's still definitely being higher, and this one here is still higher than that one. So for now, Dash may still be traveling sideways for a little longer. I think it just needs to make up its mind on where it's going to go. So let's pop that in the notes, and we'll head on to Decred or Decreed. Still don't know how to say it right, so if anyone can correct me, let me know. I'll make it worth your while. I'll send you a free clam coin, please. Tell me how to say Decred or Decreed. I think no one knows. But it is traveling upwards. This trend line's lovely. Look at that. Straight up. And gentle, slow. I mean, it gets off the line every so often, but it's come back down to it now. And if we look closely, we see a little bit of a breakout happening. So this will be one to watch very closely. If that continues to break lower, it may spell bad news for Decred. I'm just not convinced. It might be a good opportunity to buy this one. I think that even if it heads bearish from here, it's probably just going to hit this 660,000 sats mark support line, and bounce off of that. So I'll have to put a watch on that and see what happens. Really not sure. Dogecoin. Who made money on Dogecoin? Everybody made money on Doge, I think. I caught this back when it was a 123 bottom back down here. I bought my first lot of Doge at 16 sats and added to it in 24. You see this in my earlier videos, and I started selling. I sold some, I think, around 71, and I emptied the rest of my bag at 104. Just sent it, sold it all up there, because I've seen this before. And if we see this day pattern chart, we can see that historically this has been no different from every other run on Dogecoin. And there's something interesting that happens where the deflation of these giant Dogecoin bubbles are very slow. They're as slow, if not slower, than the run-up. This one here was probably the quickest deflation of that bubble, and that's come back down pretty much the same speed as the run-up. Whereas this one here, you can see, has come down a lot slower. And there's a lot of times here where it looks like it's turning around. For example, if we look at this, if you just ignore the right hand side of this screen here, you might look at this little block here and think, oh, the market's turning around for sure. Look at it, it's made a bowl formation, it's heading up, it's got a 1, 2, 3 bottom, and of course then it continues crashing down lower and lower and lower. But that's when you sell out. You wait until the 1, 2, 3 bottom forms again, because it's not an every time thing. It doesn't work every time. It's just a a probability game. If you catch it and you sell out quickly, if you're wrong, if you're not proven correct, you sell out quickly. Then you can catch the next one, and then when you do catch it, you make good money. So my overall judgment for Dogecoin, sadly, because it's it's so much fun, is that it is definitely heading down. This resistance line here, around 68 sats, seems to be hitting it. It's probably going to travel sideways for maybe a couple of days, but ultimately will crash down. Alright, let's go to Ether. Okay, so this call here, I wanted to... Yeah, this one here was an awesome, awesome, perfect pattern. It happened exactly as I imagined it would. The breakout happened, where was this? On the 4th of Jan, so right around here, we had a breakout happen. And I think that was this, wait, here. Had this breakout happen. So it did consolidate back down and then turned bullish. And we had a beautiful, basically a doubling up of your holdings in Bitcoin through trading Ethereum during this last 2-week gap. And I held, and I bought and I held Ethereum. I think I did some of that live actually. I bought some Ethereum live, and I have sold out of about half of that position so far. So depending on where it goes, whether it's heading back down lower, I might sell out the other half of that position if it starts to turn into a bearish trend. Otherwise it could, of course, go northern. Cool, let's keep those. I'm going to keep those resistance line support lines in place because they're a handy little reminder of where the price could possibly be going. On that note, where is it going? I think I'm still bearish on this. I'm still bullish rather on this. Has encountered some resistance at the 0.1. I mean, what doesn't? 0.1 is a lot of. It's a high price. Dashcoin had similar, has a lot of resistance, the 0.1 mark, and of course Bitcoin Cash had some resistance there too. It's a big step psychologically for people, I think, to pay more than 0.1 Bitcoin. Look, I'm just going to say here bullish, and then we'll check back on that and see the specifics of what happens. EXP, Expanse coin, still holding some of this. I did buy it back at, I think, 25k sats or so. Last time I said if it's heading lower than 35k sats, chuck a stop loss on it. It just didn't, just touched the line there and then whoa, went up. Went for a nice run up. So this this consolidation that we're seeing in a lot of altcoins, obviously is fear in the market. Bitcoin is crashing down pretty low at the moment. It's hitting I think sub 13k US, which was a little bit of a barrier on the way up, which of course is a psychological barrier on the way down as well. Long term, of course, will Bitcoin reach all-time highs? Yes, it will. There's, in my mind, very little chance that Bitcoin will not bounce back. Unless something crazy happens fundamentally, I think Bitcoin is heading north still. Expanse. What's going to happen with Expanse? I really don't know. I'm going to have to pop a watch on that. Factum now. 1, 2, 3 bottom back here. Passed through this resistance line. Had some more resistance on the way up. I don't know why the color's changed, but it has. Factum. Factum's just holding up so well. Like, considering that this huge run up was against the price of Bitcoin, you know, this is really great. It's doing really great, and it's got this support around the 400k sats mark. I wouldn't be surprised if this bounces off. And I'll pop that in the notes, and we'll have a look at that next week when I revisit. I'll be doing these more regularly. I just had a couple of weeks off in the middle. For those of you, were waiting for my trading journal. I do them weekly, but last week I had a lot of studies to do, had some essays to write, and I just needed to focus on that. It's important to remember why you got into Bitcoin, and that's ultimately to have more time, more freedom, for me anyway. And my mentor, who's teaching me a lot about trading, he actually took like a whole month off, and he was just like, I'm just spending time with the family, I'm just doing his own thing. He set up a new computer and all that stuff. I think that's great. You need to step away from crypto, especially if it's consuming your whole life, which, I find it frequently is. Alright, what do we got with Folding Coin? Big old bull run. We're in the 4 hour. We have another nice little setup here for another bull run, and wow, big crash. What's going to happen here? Well, the first bar, this first trend line could possibly mean that it's going to break through that and hit this one. About 335 sats. If it dips beneath 335 sats, a couple of extra R's on that, because it's probably going to be a big bad bear move, just given the the speed at which this is dropping. Okay, game. Let's have a game. Oh, that's interesting. Game is doing really well. So a lot of other cryptos are kind of, we can see a little bit of a consolidation here, but these lows are going higher. Every time it goes lower, it goes higher. So we could expect it maybe to go higher again. Interesting. I was bearish on a game for a little while there. In fact, I said it here. Less than 28k sats bear, more than 36k sats bull, and I said that around here, and it faked me out just like with the other one, where it went low and then trended upwards. So I guess I was kind of right, but not really. I was probably wrong, because I would have sold out here if I'd seen it dipping beneath this 28k. I would have sold out, unfortunately, right around here. I'm glad I wasn't trading that one, because that would have been a bad move. For now, though, where is it heading? It looks to be trending upwards, so I'd say that I'm bullish on this one, but I'm really not sure on the specifics. Let's have a look on the resistance, see where it lands here. See resistance there. More resistance there. Resistance there. Keeping that history in mind of where the resistance has been previously, we could probably say that if it breaks through this 46, it might look good. Alright, let's move on to GNO. Too much time on game. Let's move on. Yeah, I'll just got a request from Rock Thomason. I'll take a look at Neo in just a sec, man. I'll just do GNO and then I'll take a look at Neo for you. So we've got an upward trend line here with Gnosis, and seems to be crashing back down to earth. But if you extrapolate this trend line here, which I drew in, you know, back in the start of Jan rather, it's taken off from this trend line and then it's come back crashing back down. It might be bouncing off this and continuing upward. It might be a good opportunity to get into Gnosis. Oh, look what I said last time. Bullish to 0.03. That was on the 4th of Jan here. Oh man. Just fell short of it. Look at that. 0.02885. Nice. Bullish. I'll say here in brackets. Bounce off 220. I should say 0.022. I'm really not 100% sure on that one. Just want to disclaim on that. Alright, let's have a quick look at Neo before we head on to GNT. And we'll use the Bittrex market. Oh my lord, look at that. Looks beautiful. Beautiful. I haven't really looked at this market very often, so let's do a good look. So way back here where we saw the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation forming, where the 1 is the lowest point, 2 is the subsequent high, and then 3 is where it's tried to go lower and it just can't reach those low levels that it once had. And then what we do is we wait for this point where it's equal to the 2, and if it breaks through that point, it's very bullish. And that's exactly what's happened. So what's going to happen with Neo? My lord, look at that. Beautiful. Well, obviously it's going to hit this big resistance point where it had previously. So if you're holding Neo, definitely be looking to take profit, some profit at this point. The timing seems very perfect for this video because the previous high on any of these altcoins is always going to have some resistance to break through that. And we saw what happened last time. Of course, we had a pullback and we had it come back up again. History does tend to repeat, so it may very well happen again. You can see the speed of this run up was probably a little bit quicker than the speed of this run up, which lends me to think that it could easily go higher. But if I was holding Neo, I would definitely be taking some profit. Maybe not everything, but taking a little bit at around this 0.014 mark or 0.0136, around this mark. And the simple reason is that it's definitely overvalued for the trend. And even for the secondary trend, still overvalued. So even if it pulls back only to 0.011, that's a nice, you know, 5 to 10% increase in your bag size. So you can sell some of your profits, say, I don't know, 20% of your holdings in Neo now. If it continues upwards, good. You're still catching a lot of that profit with the other 80%. But yeah, with that 20%, then if there is a pullback, you can increase your bag size and you know, have more when it continues upwards. Definitely be looking at taking some profit. Maybe not all of it. Neo's great. I heard that Neo is kind of like the Ethereum of China. I'm not really across the fundamentals on all of these coins, but Neo is definitely one of the big boys. Let's move on to GNT, Golem Network Token. Oh, great choice. Yeah, good one, Rock. Take something, just because of the overvalue. For sure. It's always a good idea to take profits along the way. You know, you don't want to be risking everything. Well, this is interesting. So we have another one of these little triangle formations forming. So let's take a look at this. And of course these lines are never going to be perfect, alright? They're not going to perfectly link up with every touch. That's just what technical analysis is. You kind of have to, you know, imagine that these lines are not really fences, they're more like hedges, soft hedges, and sometimes you can kind of push them a bit further this way or that way. So what these kind of signals mean when it zigzags like this and the market's really unsure which direction it's going to go. Is it going to go lower or is it going to go higher? Who knows? What we want to watch for is a breakout from these lines. So if GNT kind of goes downwards and starts to break out and underneath this green line, it might be a good time to sell. If, however, it's starting to trend upwards and maybe breaking through this green line, it's a good time to buy. Just wanting to mark that in because it's going to be probably around the 24th or so, that maybe 23rd or so, that I do my next video. So I want to have here, if it's breaking under about 64, it's bearish, and if it's above 74, let's say, less than 64 equals bear, greater than 74 equals bull. Did I say 74? Less than 64 bear. LBC. This is such a nice clean trend line upwards as well. I've gone back and I've drawn a whole bunch of the resistance and support lines back here. Back when I started doing my analysis, it was 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, very clear there, and I bought into LBRY credits, library credits. They've had these big spikes up, and I always seem to time them pretty badly. Actually, I bought like right here at 58 or something, crashed back down to earth, and eventually, of course, went into profit because I'm definitely a long-term holder on library tokens. I think it's kind of, fundamentals on this one are good. It's trying to be, you know, almost a decentralized YouTube, like a video platform. It is trending. It seems to be, sorry, breaking this support line, which isn't great. What will happen with that one? Honestly, I don't know. I'm going to pop a watch on this, even though I want to make a call saying that it's still bullish and might be a good time to buy on this line. I'm just going to watch it. And yeah, I said last time on that one that it was bullish when I was dead wrong, so don't listen to anything I say. Lisk, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, trending upwards, had this nice support line around this point. If I draw that in, that looks nice. Look at that. And now it's doing a very similar pattern, isn't it? Look, it kind of broke through, rested on this line, broke through, it's kind of resting on this line now. Yeah, I'm bullish on this one. This trend looks, see here, what we have here is these lows, they appear to be getting higher, right? This one might have broken a little lower, but it's still higher than the rest. Higher lows indicates an upward trend. Whereas the highs, yes, this one here came in down a little bit, but the rest of them are very much the same. Makes me think this is almost an ascending kind of triangle, which is a bullish move. I'll go out on a limb here and say if it's passing 225k sats, it's probably going to be bullish on that one. Let's put a greater than sign in there. It's good to find some coins that are still bullish in this market. I mean, the market's just been crazy, trending down for a couple of days, and you know, all these groups that I'm a part of on Facebook or Discord, they're all like, we're all dying in here. By the way, you should join my Facebook group if you want. Happy to have more members. I'll chuck it in my my channel about me section, and if you want to join up. What's happening with Litecoin at the moment? It just really, this crazy erratic market just looks like manipulation to me. I did say previously that, you know, there's a lot of resistance at the 0.02 mark, and I'm going to stand by that. Back on the 4th year, I said it was bearish, and it's above where I said it was. However, it's definitely not looking bullish. Wow, look at this. This is so interesting. So it's got this very strong resistance, this 0.017, and then it broke through and it went super high. And now it's come back down underneath it. I am bearish on that. Hate to say it, Litecoin, I love you and all that. But, yeah, it's not looking good for me old mate Litecoin. NAV. I put a trade in for NAV at 25 sats, I think. I think when it broke out at this point. And I sold it recently at 29 or 28 or something. I like NAV long term, but I just think a lot of these currencies that don't have use cases other than being currency are going to struggle a little bit, whereas the coins that have applications other than currency, like Ethereum and Neo and a whole bunch of other coins out there, library token, yeah, I think they're going to have a bit more of a good time, so to speak, in the coming months. Whereas currency coins like this, even though they're awesome, privacy focused, etc., there's a lot of competition out there for those. And you know, the currencies that have better marketing, like Ripple and other ones, they're probably going to do better because they got the partnerships to back it up. Put a watch on NAV. Don't know about NAV. Thinking about removing it off my list, actually. Sorry NAV coins. Maybe I'll replace NAV with Neo, and I can look at that every week. 1, 2, 3 bottom. Here we are with OMG. I did do a trade recently on OMG. I bought around the 16 mark because I felt it break through this point, and I thought, oh, it's going north for sure. But looks can be deceiving. Here's the resistance, and it's getting some support around this point, so I'm hoping that it does bounce off of it. However, if it does break lower than about 15, I don't know, let's say 15.5 or so, it's not going to be looking good, I don't think. 155, I should say, K sats. If it's less than, equals bearish. And that'll be, you know, a situation where I pull a stop loss and cop a bit of a loss on the trade rather than travel it all the way down. Much better to get out of a trade quicker. I read once that trading is a loser's game, and you got to learn to lose really well in order to win. REP, Auger, 2, 3. Whoa, big old run up there. That was lovely. Lower, higher lows, and we haven't had really a pullback yet. I'm pretty sure we'll be getting some sort of pullback upwards. You don't have this straight line trend without a spike back up usually, especially if it's straight line like this. If a price starts to go down like this, you usually have a little bit of a spike up if it is going to continue down or change direction. At the very least, you'll have the price crash in a kind of circular motion as the momentum builds on the downward trend. Whereas this hasn't done that, which tells me that there's a little bit of bullish support. That is positive for rep. I'm really not sure on the fundamentals of rep, so I think we'll have to put a watch on that and see what happens. SC, a coin. Come crashing back down to earth recently. Had a lot of bull activity, big spikes up, big accumulation. Somebody really wants a part of SIA. Well, it's coming back down now. Let's have a look at some of these resistance points. So where will it stop? It's obviously downward trend, and it'll probably hit at least 313. But will it break through and head down to 259? So I don't know. Let's say that if it's under 310, it's heading south. By the way, I keep saying north and south. I really should say bull and bear because I don't want to confuse everyone with my weird lingo. Steam. Very nice big spike up. This 1, 2, 3 bottom formation way back here, and then we had another kind of setup 1, 2, 3 where it went for a long time before it started to take off. And then when it took off well. These excuse me, these support lines here, it's hit twice. It's probably going to come back down here once again, down to 31k or so. If it breaks that and heads lower, it's going to be bearish. Let's move on to storage coin. Flying through these now, making good time. Oops. 1, 2, 3 bottom back here. Started heading up and broke through this big old resistance band. Went right up. When these coins take off, there's a lot of momentum behind the market, and a lot of new investors wanting to make money quick, and then you just have these huge spikes, these huge ups and downs. It's very exciting because you can make a lot of money, but you also need to make sure that you're taking your profits. A lot of people get caught up in the hype of coins and they hang on way too long. You've got to be able to get out of some of these coins, take profits, treat it as a trade. I mean, these are all things that I say to you and the camera, but ultimately I'm saying it to myself because I make these mistakes often. I'll buy into the hype of a coin and I'll stay on way too long, and then I'll hold it forever, and then I'll hold it until it's worth less than what I bought it at. Or at the worst case scenario is that it's less value in Bitcoin, which means I'm losing Bitcoins, which is not what I want to do. It's kind of the opposite actually. So don't get caught up in the hype. Make sure you take profits along the way. Storage coin, I don't know. I've been looking at that chart for a while and I can't find anything on it. Let's move on. STR. Wow, big spikes here. Let's have a look at the resistance band. Nice resistance there. Support, I should say. Where is it going to go? It's got support around this point too. You can see when it traveled up, it kind of rested on this for a minute before it crashed underneath. So will it stick around here and go? Yeah, I'm thinking that. I'm thinking it'll probably break this 40... this mark here, around 4100s. Let's call it sub 4k sats. I'm just going to put a mark on game credits because I want to make sure that I check that out later. Possibly do a trade on that. Where are we? There we go. Alright. Let's move on to strat. What did I say last time there? Greater than 127 equals bull run. That was back in January 4th there. It certainly did. Took a while to get there. Like a couple of other coins we've seen today, it drops down first. Then it's corrected upwards. And now it's getting these higher lows. Every time there's a low, it's higher. Stratus. I'm bullish on Stratus just by the looks of this chart, purely based on the looks of this chart. I don't know anything about the fundamentals of the coin. resistance here. Interesting. So if we imagine that this resistance and support line is, it's like jelly, or it's like a hedge. It's not really a solid brick wall. It's not like the price hits that and stops. People get overexcited. People get extra fearful on the way down, and it, you know, breaks through, and it's a soft wall. If we can imagine that as kind of a soft wall, then these little spikes up and over it, you know, match up with these ones here. And now what we're getting is we're getting a little bit of support around this 145k stats mark. So I'm bullish on this. I think it's got this support at the 145k, and I'm going to pop a star next to that because I want to check that out later, possibly do a trade on that. Let's move on to VTC, Vertcoin. Ooh, that's down. That's not looking good. So, just like when we see an ascending triangle, it's a bullish signal. When we see a descending triangle like this, it's a bearish signal. And particularly when it's sitting on this line that it's previously failed to crash through, not looking good. Less than 38. Sats equals bear. Now I'm going to pop a star here because I have some Vertcoin that I actually bought at around 40, around here I think, and it went up for a little while. I sold a little bit, took a little bit of profit, but I think I'll chuck the rest of that to the wayside and utilize those funds elsewhere, maybe in a trade with Strat or something else. We'll see. I'm not going to do any trades live at the moment because I need to move some Bitcoin around. I've been thinking actually maybe I should allocate like a 0.1 Bitcoin to Binance or some other new exchange and try and grow that Bitcoin as kind of a side trading journal. Just try and trade that Bitcoin and make more Bitcoin out of that 0.1. And only do my trades there so that I can really see whether or not in the long term I'm growing that money. Because a lot of my other trading accounts, they just seem to have a mix of some trading activity and some holding activity, and it kind of skews things a little bit. Makes it hard to judge. Counterparty, big run up, very kind of similar to what we see in a lot of coins where, you know, over exuberance takes over, it goes way too high, way too fast, and it needs to come back down. However, now is the time that you want to be kind of considering buying a lot of these coins. Well, the fundamental ones anyway, the ones that you believe in. From a technical perspective, it seems like the altcoin boom is calming down a little bit. And that doesn't mean that no altcoins will succeed, of course. I think they will. It's just that, you know, the time in this market where every single coin was making money is probably coming to a close. And, you know, some inexperienced traders are going to learn some lessons. I'm hoping I learned some lessons that aren't so costly. Let's put a watch on XCP because I got carried away talking. XMR, one of my faves. Look at this beauty. Monero coin. It's very much on a big old run up, and especially when you compare this to the Dash Monero market that I was showing earlier in the video near the Dash coin. Oh yeah, let's get rid of that so we can see them all. It's doing very well against Dash, and I think Monero Dash, that rivalry is a psychological one as well. I think if the market cap of Monero overtakes that of Dash, that'd be very interesting. Because it is at an all-time high here, or at least a, you know, mid to long-term high, I am selling some coins, taking some profit, just because I, you know, want to be able to buy back if there is a correction. But at the same time, generally speaking, I'm bullish on this coin. Now let's put a bit of a mark here where it could go. Let's look historically. 34 at least here. Alright, XPM. Monero is the real deal. Yes. Thanks, Rock. Legit is. I think that there's a lot of accumulation with Monero happening. Obviously, some people have held Monero for years, and those people are taking some profits, and we're seeing some obviously consolidation and some dips as well. But yeah, in the maybe 6 months to a year time frame, Monero is going to be in a very good position to be retaining the top 10 status, whereas a lot of other coins I think are going to be moving downwards as other more fundamental coins take over. I mean, time will tell. I've been wrong many times before, so we don't really know, but yeah, Monero is definitely one of the stronger ones that I have a stronger opinion on. Prime coin heading into kind of recent bearish trend here. Let's just draw this new line up here because it's getting a lot of support around this point where it's at right now. It'll probably break lower, and if it does break below the 7100 kind of levels, we're probably looking at bear again on that one. Lots of bearish calls, which I hate to make, but there is a couple of bullish ones in there. This one here, VTC, is a sell, of course. Ripple, oh you poor bastard. Ripple got smashed recently, didn't it? Had a huge run up and just crashed back down. Not huge, I mean in the scheme of things it's still doing very well. And long term I think it'll continue to do well. But it definitely got a lot of media attention, it got a lot of big investors buying in. Whenever you got announcements of big partnerships, this sort of thing encourages a lot more investment, and therefore the overbuying is going to be there as well. It's just a fact. I sold mine at 15k sats right at this first peak, and I kind of when it dropped and came up for the second peak, I was very annoyed. I was like, damn it, I should have held on. Shouldn't have sold out my whole position, but I was proven correct when it eventually came back down, and there might be new buying opportunities, particularly around the level where it's at now, but it does look like it's breaking lower. It's not good news. It could head anywhere back down to, I don't know, say right around this, about 8,000 sats. So I'm just going to pop could head to 8,000 sats here, because I'm not really sure on that. I don't want to make a call on it, but it could very well, and I just want to make note of that. Last but not least, Zcash. By the way, if anyone else is watching and wants me to check out any other coins, now's your time to chuck it in the chat, and I'll take a quick look at it. Zcash though, 1 2 3 bottom. I remember calling this on camera 1 2 3 bottom formation, and broke right through here. Of course, this is another one of these privacy-focused coins, and privacy-focused coins will do, I think, better than coins that don't have that. I remember when live video streaming was becoming a thing, and we had a whole bunch of different companies coming out. Like there was one called Meerkat, there was another one called Periscope, and all these companies might still be around. There was a few. But as soon as Facebook decided, okay, we're going to do it, a lot of these companies weakened, I think, with the amount of people they had using it and the frequency that they did. I think Periscope's probably still the main one around, but a lot of the other ones have died off. And why do I tell you this is because I think that eventually, possibly in the next year or two, Bitcoin itself will enter the dark or the obscured transaction arena and get a bit more of a privacy focus. And when that happens, I think we're going to see a lot of these privacy coins drift off. Monero is a little unique, so I'm still bullish on that, but yeah, some of these other ones will definitely fall off. A lot of resistance there. You can see we've had it before, we've had it here once, here again, here again. No exception on this one. Tried to break through and failed, and so now it'll probably head back lower and at least touch this line here, the 0.044. Bearish to 0.044. Yes, I will take a look at Roblox. XRB. Ah, there's no trading thing on here, that's right. Now, I think I can get XRB on... Yeah, it's not on Trading View. I think I have to get it on Coinigy, which I don't have an account on. So I'll have to do that and take a look at that one next time. Hurry up, Trading View, and get it. XRB is the one, isn't it? Real Bond Index. Yeah. Sorry about that, Rock. I'll take a look at it next week and I'll check it out. Anyway, peace for now, guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions for other coins, or if you know how to pronounce Decred, and I'll give you a free clam coin. Thanks. Peace.